Hi, Natasha. Yeah, we are here in the small town of Pickens, which earlier today saw thousands of people here to see the former president ahead of their 4th of July celebrations. A lot of them have left now, but we were able to catch up with some of those South Carolina voters and ask them about Trump taking on 2024.
Correspondent Evyn Moon is live for us at the White House tonight with more on this very big trip for the administration.
Hi, Kelsey. Yeah, as you said, there are many reasons why this is an extremely high stakes and tense trip for the Secretary of State. But Blinken stressed earlier this week that there's an importance to keeping this bilateral relationship on solid ground. There's been a lot of reaction here in Washington to these internal conflicts among Russian forces. The general consensus, though, we are hearing from U.S. officials here, they're keeping a very close eye, monitoring this very fluid situation. It's only been a few days since Ron DeSantis officially vied for the 2024 race for the Oval Office, but no surprise, he's already full steam ahead.
Correspondent Evyn Moon is live across the street from the Washington Hilton with a look at the dinner's history. Good evening, Evyn.
Good evening. It's been a big week in Washington, D.C. with exclusive events throughout the week, but it all concludes tonight with the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You can see people behind me watching as people enter the venue tonight. It's going to be Hollywood stars, politicians, journalists, all here to honor the First Amendment and have a little fun. Well, as you saw, we didn't hear much. Kevin McCarthy there speaking for what felt like only less than a minute or two, but saying that they did come to a deal, that he was set to speak with President Biden again tomorrow. An incredible scene behind me. You can see the highway is completely black, and behind that, on the northbound side, the elevated section of I-95 completely collapsing on the road beneath it. They say a vehicle is still trapped under the debris, under the collapse. Just a few days ago, right here on Capitol Hill, Congress held a first-of-its-kind hearing on UFOs, non-human life, and what some claim to be a potential government cover-up. But now a top Pentagon official is calling the claims insulting to employees who have been investigating these sightings and accused one key witness of not cooperating with the official U.S. government investigation. Well, the most important thing this week is that a family member of Democratic candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is President John F. Kennedy's grandson, is publicly slamming RFK Jr. and saying he will instead vote for President Biden. Here's some of that.
Correspondent Evyn Moon live for us at the White House tonight with details. Evyn?
Hello there. You said it. Both the White House and congressional leadership saying that neither side got everything they wanted, even after months of negotiations. But regardless of wins or losses for either party, the final deal has big implications for Americans.
Correspondent Evyn Moon joins us live now from D.C. Evyn, you've been looking into this. What do you know?
We are still gathering information on what caused this crash and who might have been inside the aircraft. Now, the event today here in Pickens, South Carolina, is following a trend we've been seeing by the former president this campaign season, seemingly staying more in southern states and traveling far less than he did in previous campaign seasons and than his opponents. It is, and it was just amazing to speak with a lot of these bikers today. Thousands of them are veterans, many are family members of service members, and a lot of them come year after year on Memorial Day weekend with a very powerful message to share. Around 80,000 bikers arriving early at the Pentagon this morning. Among them, veterans, Gold Star mothers and wives, those who have served, and the families that have sacrificed, coming together on Memorial Day weekend to ride and remember.
Since retiring out of the Air Force, it's my 8th year doing it. Part of it's kind of like the old, what they call survivor's guilt routine, knowing that, a lot of us going over there and didn't come back. It's just been one of those things, just come out here and remember. That's what the weekend's about.
We want to bring awareness to our POWs, our MIAs, our soldiers that have fallen, and for veteran suicide.
The Rolling to Remember event, now in its 36th year, was previously known as Rolling Thunder. The massive motorcycle run goes through the streets of Washington, D.C., the goal to raise awareness of the 81,000 soldiers still missing in action and of the suicide epidemic, which took 328 active duty members last year and over 6,000 veterans in 2020.
The soldier serves with his feet on the ground, but your family actually serves and sacrifices so much more at home.
Speaking with some of these riders today, it felt like a family reunion.
Because there's no strangers here.
Everybody's your friend. You don't know them, but they're all your friends.
And a time to lean on each other and to heal. Many Gold Star families attending today, those who have lost children or spouses in military service. The national president of American Gold Star Mothers, who lost her 20-year-old son in Afghanistan in 2012, says it's always an emotional day.
It's very emotional. We do not want our children to ever be forgotten. It's such an honor. We take so much pride when our children enter the military, and then when they pass, it is so difficult.
This is such a healing time. This is such an honor to just remember our warriors who have come back from war. And it's very important for everyone. It's a very emotional for us. And it's just good for us to, just reach out and just help one another.
Just minutes before revving up to run, I caught up with the AMVETS National Commander, Donald McLean, the organization sponsoring the run.
And what does it mean to lead? I mean, behind you, you've got veterans, you've got Gold Star moms, Gold Star wives. What does it mean to be leading all these people down the streets of D.C., starting at the Pentagon?
This is the mission of my life, to help get the word of our veterans out there and to help not only the veterans, but also, as you mentioned, the Gold Star wives, the Gold Star mothers, and to have this many bikers here today from all different groups, different backgrounds is just beautiful.
On Memorial Day weekend, riders had some advice.
Just walk up to a vet and say thank you. Shake their hand, give them a hug. That's why we're here.
A great message and reminder on this Memorial Day weekend, and thank you for your service as well, Nick.
Oh, thank you, Evyn. Oh, Evyn Moon, live for us this evening in D.C.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be to kick off the 4th of July weekend.
The former president kicking off the holiday weekend in Pickens, South Carolina, the small town with a population of just over 3,000, garnering tens of thousands more today.
Were you shocked to hear he was coming here?
Absolutely, 100% shocked.
This is the biggest thing that's happened to Pickens ever. This is his base. This is
the most patriotic tiny town in the history of patriotic tiny towns.
His message on taking the Oval in 2024 was strong for his base here, winning the state by 10 points in 2020, Pickens County specifically, voting nearly 75% for Trump.
With the help of everyone here today, we're going to win the South Carolina primary 7 months from now. Big.
Trump reacting to this week's controversial Supreme Court decisions, overturning affirmative action and blocking Biden's student loan forgiveness plan.
We appointed nearly 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices. And this week, those justices ruled to move our country forward with a merit-based system of education. How big is that?
And commenting on his most recent indictment.
The Espionage Act has been used to go after traitors and spies. It has nothing to do with a former president legally keeping documents.
As Trump speaks in South Carolina, he leads in the polls against 2 2024 GOP hopefuls from the Palmetto State, former Governor Nikki Haley and Senator Tim Scott.
But you have Tim Scott and you have Nikki Haley running. But leading by so much that people don't even want to put out the numbers.
Some of his fellow GOP contenders speaking at a Moms for Liberty event yesterday, including Trump's biggest opponent, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who appeared to throw a slight his way.
2024 is the time to put up or shut up. No more excuses about why we can't win against the left. No more excuses about why you didn't do what you said you would do. The time to act is now.
We have to have a new generational leader. We can't look back. We've got to look forward.
And in Nikki Haley and Tim Scott's territory today, we asked voters here how they feel about Trump's 2 South Carolina challengers.
I love Tim Scott, but Nikki Haley needs to go.
Does Rhino mean anything to you?
Right now, we need the man himself, Donald J. Trump.
They all need to get behind Donald Trump, as one.